The Chancery Lane project produces contract clauses for you to use in your contracts to help you and your clients remove carbon or reduce carbon. But we're still using contracts. We're still using things like termination clauses, step-in rights, ratchet mechanisms, pain gain share mechanisms, all of the things that you will be familiar with as a lawyer who deals with contracts on a day-to-day basis can all be repurposed. At the moment, all of these mechanisms are there to deliver profit or make sure that the goods you receive are on time and to the right quality, or that the services you receive are correct as compared to the service specification that you have mandated in the contract. But there is nothing that says all of those familiar mechanisms cannot be used to help you hit a net zero target. And I think that's what's so beautiful about them. It feels really daring when you suggest that people do this, when you suggest that people use their contracts, but contracts themselves are incredibly familiar. And I think that gives us a level of comfort when we are doing something daring and necessary. And lastly, I wanted to talk about how they are legally enforceable. The beauty of regulation and legislation is that you have to do it, and if you don't, there will be a significant consequence. The nice thing, or the beautiful thing about contracts, is that you can put consequences into the contract and make those legally enforceable. If you want to say that a contract has a carbon footprint, a target carbon footprint, and if a supplier misses that target carbon footprint, then you can put in a suite of measures for rectification, for remedy, even termination. Again, terms that you'll be really familiar with if you deal with contracts on a day-to-day basis, but it brings in that level of enforceability, that level of teeth, which incentivizes real, meaningful, tangible action. And I think the nice thing here about contracts is that they actually give you a really clear means to deliver on your or your clients' climate goals. In fact, I would argue that it is one of the, if not the most powerful, most impactful things that a lawyer can do, is repurposing the engine of a contract to take carbon out of the environment. So the first thing I would do is go and check your clients. If you're a private practice lawyer, go and find your top 4 clients in your team or your area. If you're an in-house lawyer, firstly, look at your clients, your corporation or your business's goals. What are the goals of the businesses that you are serving? Have they signed up to SDG 13? Have they set a net zero target? Have they signed up to Race for Zero? What are their publicly stated goals? Because that's a really important way in. That is where I think that businesses now, there's been a big rush, particularly around COP26 last year, for businesses to put out goals. We are finding, and rightly so, that businesses are now being held to account for those goals. So finding out what your major clients have promised to do in the public arena, and then thinking about ways using contracting, because that is my hammer and everything is a nail, there's bound to be other ways, but using contracting, what are the ways that you can help them meet that goal and get rid of any potential risk for if they seem to be not meeting it. As I mentioned, we've got 119 clauses published on our website, both in previous climate clause playbooks and alongside our new net zero and best in class clause work. And we continue to publish new clauses on a rolling basis. We also, and actually this has been the sort of breakout success, we have a comprehensive glossary of terms used throughout our drafting. So we have this glossary, and if you have ever come across a climate term and you didn't know what it meant, scope 3, GHG emissions, or just transition, any term that you can think of in relation to climate, there is almost certainly in our glossary, and it's almost certainly entered in our glossary in a way that can be picked up and used as a standard definition in the contract. So it's not only a really good place if you come across a term and you don't know what it means for you to go and do some easy research, but when you've done that easy research, if you need to put it in a contract, you can pretty much cut and paste and use it.